Truth finally erupts like molten magma, obliterating the conspiracy of silence that once protected those who thought themselves untouchable. The alliance formed by your ex, their crooked lawyer, and that disgraced officer, the so-called unholy trinity, was once crafted with meticulous care, each believing their positions made them invincible. But now, under the relentless glare of justice, their every calculated move to bury your pain has been dragged into merciless daylight, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. The community, once oblivious, now recoils in collective disgust, as the elaborate architecture of their deception becomes impossible to ignore. Where there was once denial and dismissal, there is now a rising tide of outrage. Those who previously believed in their lies witness, one after another, the machinery of cover-up, the cold callousness of collusion, and the cruel exploitation of your most vulnerable moments. The veil has been torn away completely. Your ex, their manipulative lawyer, and that badge-tarnishing cop are all unmasked for who they truly are. Their years of orchestrated deceit unraveling before the eyes of everyone who matters. No longer hidden in shadow, their crimes are laid bare, documented, and displayed for all to see. People who once ignored your warnings now find themselves speechless, watching as revelation after revelation confirms what you always knew deep down. Those who dismissed you as paranoid, those who called you delusional, now stand in awkward silence, some attempting apologies that can never fully erase the pain of their earlier skepticism. It becomes clear how meticulously this scheme was planned and executed. Your ex, the primary architect, manipulated events from the very beginning, transforming innocent coincidences into deliberate setups and turning misunderstandings into weapons against you. Every tear, every dramatic scene was just a performance, carefully choreographed to mask their true intentions. The lawyer, schooled in the very laws they subverted, expertly falsified evidence, altered crucial documents, misquoted precedents, and corrupted legal procedures, turning legal jargon into smokescreens and procedural complexity into hiding places. All the while, they maintained a mask of professional respectability that now dissolves in the harsh light of public scrutiny. Their colleagues' disgust is palpable. The corrupt officer abused their sacred oath, morphing the duty to protect into a weapon for persecution. Official reports were doctored, evidence conveniently vanished, and witness statements were subtly, but meaningfully changed, all to bolster the fabricated case against you. The very system designed to protect the innocent became twisted into an instrument of your suffering through their deliberate and coordinated corruption. Now, with their communications exposed, encrypted messages, secret emails, late-night rendezvous, financial transfers meticulously hidden, the complete mosaic of malice is undeniable. Each piece fits perfectly, revealing a conspiracy that was as deliberate as it was cruel. But the system they twisted now turns against them with a vengeance. New officials, unconnected to the past conspiracy, take up your case with a clarity and purpose that had long been missing. Old files once marked closed are reopened. Evidence that had disappeared resurfaces as if guided by fate. Witnesses who had been silenced by threats find new courage, coming forward one by one, creating a powerful chorus of damning testimony. Subpoenas arrive like thunderbolts, shaking the very foundations of those who plotted against you. Your ex receives the official notice with trembling hands. The once untouchable lawyer now faces a summons bearing their own name. The official language now transformed into a sword, pointed directly at their career and future. The officer, stripped of all pretense, watches as former colleagues execute search warrants, the so-called thin blue line evaporating when its integrity is at risk. Judges who once rubber-stamped the trio's questionable motions are now forced to scrutinize every detail of their actions. Prosecutors revisit old files with fresh suspicion. Defense attorneys who were once allies now distance themselves, wary of being tainted by association with a brewing scandal. The very machinery of justice that was manipulated against you now recalibrates, grinding forward with unstoppable momentum. Internal affairs investigators seize records, computer drives, and phone logs. Banking officials trace the intricate webs of suspicious transactions. Tax authorities piece together patterns of unreported income and financial misconduct. Every system that was once weaponized against you is now the very instrument of their unraveling. In this moment of unmasking, the carefully constructed personas of your adversaries are reduced to rubble. The truth, long buried, shines brighter than ever, vindicating your struggle and signaling the beginning of a new era of accountability. Every charm-filled smile, every seemingly passionate declaration, every display of emotional vulnerability was methodically calculated, strategically deployed exactly when needed, to manipulate perceptions and orchestrate events in their favor. All of it was designed not only to bolster their own positions, but to systematically erode your credibility and standing in the eyes of others. Now, with their private communications exposed, the mask has been ripped away, revealing a stranger beneath the familiar exterior, a person whose words and actions no longer match the persona they worked so hard to craft. In messages to the lawyer, you were simply the problem that needed solving. Their conversations with the corrupt officer reveal arrangements for surveillance far outside legal bounds, and financial discussions about assets that rightfully belong to you are chillingly transactional, stripping away any remaining illusion of genuine care. What was once disguised as love or partnership is now exposed as nothing more than a cold, self-serving arrangement. Friends who once championed their side now recoil in shock. Family members who believed every word begin to question the stories they were told, and colleagues eye them with growing suspicion as evidence piles up. The social facade they so carefully built dissolves in real time as screenshots circulate and damning recordings surface, forcing even their staunchest defenders to confront the uncomfortable truth. Panic takes hold, driving them to increasingly desperate attempts at damage control. Their explanations to different people start to conflict. Details suddenly remembered directly contradict earlier statements, and every public comment only digs them deeper, with legal experts quick to point out how their words further incriminate them. The more they struggle to explain, the more they confirm the deliberate malice behind their actions. But the rot goes even deeper. There's a generational pattern at play. Family members complicit in the conspiracy are now dragged into the light. Parents who raised them in an environment where manipulation was seen as necessary for survival, siblings who actively monitored your movements, and extended relatives who maintained silence despite knowing fragments of the truth, all find themselves under scrutiny. The family system, which always regarded you as somehow different, a threat to their established order, is finally exposed. Financial incentives were used to maintain loyalty, with promises of shared assets and covert payments disguised as gifts or loans. Family businesses served as fronts for laundering money or inventing fake jobs. But now, as investigators with expertise in tracing financial trails dig deeper, these entanglements are being unraveled, following the money to its real origins and destinations. Under this pressure, family members scramble to distance themselves. Convenient memory lapses surface. Some suddenly claim they were kept in the dark. Others rush to position themselves as victims rather than willing participants. The facade of family unity cracks, revealing old fault lines. A few, sensing inevitable exposure, make strategic choices to cooperate. And as the investigations intensify, lost documents reappear and details long suppressed are finally shared in official statements. Older relatives, perhaps reflecting on what legacy they'll leave behind, decide that protecting family secrets no longer justifies shielding the guilty. Their campaign wasn't limited to the legal or physical. It reached into the psychological and spiritual. They sought to erode your sense of reality, sowing doubt in your mind and disconnecting you from your own spiritual discernment. The gaslighting was relentless, the subtle distortions of reality constant, creating an ongoing conflict between what you truly experienced and what they insisted was true. At the root of their fear was your spiritual strength, your deep connection to truth, your uncanny ability to sense deception, even beneath the most elaborate performances, your resilience that withstood their coordinated assaults. You possessed an authentic power they could neither claim nor comprehend, so they tried everything to sap your energy, drain your resources, and isolate you from potential supporters, all because they recognized something extraordinary in you that they felt compelled to diminish. Every attempt to make you question your sanity, every psychological assault, was an acknowledgement of your dangerous ability to perceive the truth. Even during the darkest times, when confusion surrounded you and your inner light seemed to flicker, your spirit was never extinguished. That persistent flame guided you through deliberate obfuscation, whispering truth when every external voice tried to drown it out with calculated lies. It was this spiritual resilience that carried you to this moment of vindication, unfolding with a timing that feels divinely orchestrated. Quick pause, family. If this message resonates with your soul and you want to support this sacred mission, you can buy me a coffee and help keep this space alive with truth, light, and divine clarity. The link is in the description, and don't forget to drop the number 88 in the comments if you're feeling this message. Let's keep going. The paper trail of resources diverted from you now stands as undeniable evidence for those who know where to look. Bank records reveal suspiciously timed transfers, property records show questionable changes in ownership, and tax filings are filled with deliberate misrepresentations. The documentation, while crafted with professional skill to fool casual inspection, cannot withstand the scrutiny of forensic investigation. Your ex's lawyer masterminded a labyrinth of paperwork meant to permanently separate you from what was rightfully yours, with subtle but crucial modifications, signatures obtained under false pretenses, and documents filed in carefully chosen time windows to avoid oversight. Court submissions were peppered with intentional misrepresentations, passed off as simple mistakes, but designed to obscure the truth. The corrupt officer made sure that any investigation which might expose these schemes was derailed before it gained momentum. Witnesses were intimidated under the guise of standard questioning. Evidence collection was deliberately compromised, and any line of inquiry leading to the real story was mysteriously deprioritized or reassigned. Resources meant to bring justice were instead weaponized to shield their crimes and prevent the world from seeing what they had done to you. Financial forensic experts now methodically reconstruct the intricate web of transactions crafted to hide the truth. Accounts set up solely for one-off transfers are quickly closed. Properties briefly held by third parties only to obscure real ownership. Assets temporarily converted into harder-to-trace forms, and cash transactions used at critical moments to break digital trails. All of it is being uncovered by investigators skilled in following money, regardless of how carefully its movement was concealed. As each layer is peeled back, individuals who were once adjacent to this conspiracy find they can no longer stomach their silence. The legal assistant who noticed oddities in paperwork but was too afraid to risk their career, the junior officer who witnessed procedural violations but was intimidated into silence, even your ex's friend who saw manipulations unfold but lacked enough context to speak out, all begin stepping forward. At first, these whistleblowers approach cautiously, sending anonymous tips to officials with reputations for integrity, providing detailed statements supported by records, preserving recordings despite being told to destroy them, and keeping meeting notes even under orders to leave no trace. Each contribution adds to the growing body of evidence, finally confirming what you had always known but could never fully prove on your own. Eventually, a particularly significant insider, someone deeply trusted by the conspirators, with access to unguarded moments, unfiltered communications, and strategy meetings, breaks ranks completely. This person preserved crucial evidence precisely because they recognized the profound wrongness of what was happening, and their testimony provides the skeleton key that unlocks doors once thought impenetrable. The effect is immediate and exponential. As each new revelation emerges, more witnesses find the courage to come forward, shifting the momentum entirely. Those who once feared that nobody would believe them against such established authorities now find strength in the corroboration of others. And what started as a trickle of truth becomes a flood, washing away every barrier the conspirators built to contain it. As the walls close in, your adversaries turn on one another in predictable desperation. Your ex now claims they were misled and manipulated by the lawyer. The lawyer, in turn, insists they were merely following client direction, while hiding behind claims of confidentiality. The corrupt officer blames departmental culture, alleged orders from higher-ups, and systemic pressure. Each scrambles to minimize their own responsibility while shifting blame onto others. The destruction of evidence accelerates as panic spreads. Deleted messages, shredded documents, computer malfunctions that conveniently affect specific dates, even small fires breaking out in home offices. Ironically, these transparent attempts at concealment only highlight their consciousness of guilt and give investigators a roadmap of where to focus their efforts. Their unity evaporates entirely. Public statements and testimony to investigators become riddled with contradictions and inconsistencies. Each former ally tries to cut immunity deals by trading incriminating testimony against the others, fracturing what was once a formidable, coordinated front into a collection of self-interested individuals, each undermining the other's defense. Their attempts to create new narratives are painfully transparent, claims of misunderstanding instead of malice, suggestions of procedural confusion rather than deliberate corruption, and efforts to reframe established facts in technically plausible but clearly dishonest ways. Each new explanation is more convoluted and less credible than the last, and the more they talk, the more they damage themselves. Through this relentless, systematic unraveling of the conspiracy, your complete vindication finally takes shape. What was once dismissed as paranoia or delusion is now recognized as perceptive clarity. Your account of events is corroborated by documents, testimony, and independent witnesses. Your assessment of the key figures, once doubted, is now proven chillingly accurate. Even those who doubted or distanced themselves before now come forward, some apologizing directly, others struggling with the guilt of their past inaction. Some simply stand as silent witnesses, their presence alone a wordless acknowledgement of the truth you defended. Your unwavering commitment to truth, even in the face of relentless gaslighting and immense pressure to accept easier lies, preserved the factual foundation upon which justice is now being built. As your reputation is restored, it gathers unstoppable momentum. Professional doors that were once slammed shut begin to open. Social circles that had been poisoned against you reach out in reconciliation. Resources that were stolen from you start finding their way back. The calculated dismantling engineered to destroy you now reverses piece by piece with equal thoroughness. Your resilience, your steadfast refusal to compromise your integrity, earns not just sympathy, but deep respect and admiration. You are no longer seen merely as someone who suffered injustice, but as a figure of extraordinary strength, elevated by the very qualities that sustained you through the ordeal. The community processes these revelations with collective shock, which quickly turns to disgust. People who previously aligned themselves socially with your ex, deceived by their crafted persona, now distance themselves in public. Colleagues of the corrupted lawyer re-examine their past interactions with suspicion, and community members who once respected the dirty cop now question every prior encounter. Organizations that once participated in your exclusion or condemnation now issue carefully worded statements. acknowledging that new information has changed their understanding. Suddenly, professional references become supportive, and invitations emerge from groups that once shunned you. The very social infrastructure that was weaponized against you begins to recalibrate, gradually realigning toward truth. Out of the most unexpected places, new support arises, evidence that the tide has truly turned and that your courage has not only set you free but is beginning to inspire others to stand for what is right. People you never imagined as allies now speak out forcefully in your defense, their voices joining a growing chorus of support. Individuals who endured similar injustices, once silent due to fear or shame, find courage in your vindication and come forward, inspired by your resilience. Professionals with relevant skills and expertise volunteer their assistance to help you navigate the aftermath, determined to see justice fully served. The loneliness that was once engineered against you rapidly dissolves, replaced by genuine connections built on authentic recognition rather than manipulation. This revelation has a ripple effect, reshaping not only your own relationships, but also the broader landscape of trust within the community. People become far more discerning, aware of how power can corrupt, how appearances can deceive, and how systems may be manipulated against the innocent. Your experience becomes a kind of shield for others, sparking greater vigilance and making it far harder for such conspiracies to take root again. As legal remedies proceed, the system that once failed you now operates with unprecedented thoroughness and urgency. Attorneys who recognize both the legal and moral significance of your case offer representation, committed to your complete restoration. Judges familiar with the details ensure your case is prioritized and handled with the gravity it deserves. The very machinery that was once weaponized against you now works diligently to correct the wrongs. Financial assets are returned with interest and penalties. Property is restored with compensation for lost use, and opportunities once denied to you are revisited, acknowledging the advancement you were forced to forego. These material aspects of justice unfold alongside the equally crucial restoration of your reputation, standing, and connection within your community. Through this process, new allies emerge. People who see and appreciate your unique value precisely because you survived and rose above such calculated opposition. They understand that enduring and overcoming such adversity reveals strength and wisdom that cannot be gained any other way. They recognize the uncommon discernment required to uphold truth in the face of orchestrated confusion, and they are drawn to the authenticity forged in genuine challenge. The obstacles designed to destroy you are now cleared from your path, leaving you not only with new freedom but also with a deeper understanding of your own capacity. What was meant to break you has instead refined you, revealing strengths you might not have otherwise discovered. The isolation meant to weaken you has clarified what is essential and lasting, allowing you to recognize the difference between superficial association and true, meaningful connection. Throughout this entire ordeal, forces beyond ordinary perception have been at work, quietly ensuring that justice would ultimately prevail. Seemingly random events preserved crucial evidence, and unexpected people appeared at exactly the right moments to safeguard your cause. Coincidences too perfectly timed to be accidental revealed a hidden architecture of protection operating beneath the surface, beyond conscious awareness. Those who conspired against you never grasped the depth of their miscalculation. They only understood visible power, material resources, social status, institutional authority. What they failed to see were the invisible but far more powerful spiritual dimensions at play. Their attacks, intended to destroy, ultimately activated a level of cosmic protection around you. Every attempt to harm you became a catalyst for even greater truth to emerge, and every effort to isolate you created opportunities to discern and strengthen authentic connection. Every attack they launched against you ended up fortifying exactly what they aimed to destroy. The universal law of opposition played out with remarkable precision, transforming the very energy meant to break you into the fuel for your ultimate victory. While you would never have chosen this ordeal, it accomplished something far greater than mere surface-level justice. This journey permanently sharpened your discernment, clarified your boundaries, and distinguished your genuine power from shallow authority. Challenges that would have left most people shattered instead awakened dormant capacities within you, refining your purpose in ways that comfort and ease could never accomplish. As this chapter of Revelation comes to its close, it marks not just an end, but the beginning of something profoundly significant. The wisdom you've gained is not theoretical, nor can it be understood by intellect alone. It's etched into your very being, integrated through lived experience, and transformed into a deep, instinctual knowing that will guide your decisions and perceptions for the rest of your life. The network of authentic allies you discovered through this trial now forms the foundation for real creation, not just reaction. These connections were forged through shared adversity, tested by action rather than mere promises, and built on mutual commitment to truth. Gone are the days of maintaining relationships out of convenience or pretense. Now you are surrounded by a genuine community anchored in honesty and resilience. The spiritual strength you've cultivated by holding fast to your truth, despite overwhelming opposition, now becomes your unshakable base for expansion. Your discernment, honed through relentless testing, is now razor sharp. You can trust your inner knowing even when the entire world tries to convince you otherwise. These qualities, hard-won through genuine adversity, are now permanent resources, fueling every step forward. As you step into this new phase, you can almost feel the universal forces realigning in your favor. The exposure of this conspiracy didn't just resolve your situation, it sent powerful ripples through the collective consciousness, influencing events and people far beyond your immediate circle. Cosmic justice unfolds not simply as retribution, but as a fundamental restoration of balance. The universe cannot tolerate prolonged injustice. What you're witnessing now is a return to natural order, once distorted by manipulation. You may notice long-standing obstacles dissolving for no apparent reason, and new opportunities emerging seemingly out of nowhere. The cosmic machinery is at work, orchestrating multiple corrections through a single series of events. Your struggle was the spark that ignited this larger realignment. Those with spiritual awareness feel the shifts, even if they can't identify the cause. Others, who once clung to comfortable deception, suddenly find themselves compelled toward truth. Your experience serves as a blueprint for widespread awakening, showing others the way out of darkness by the luminous trail you left behind. By refusing to surrender your truth even under relentless pressure, you set a precedent in both seen and unseen realms. The boundaries you established now serve as a model for others seeking to protect their own sovereignty against systematic violations. This cosmic vindication arrived not a moment too soon or too late, but exactly when you were ready to receive it, not just as personal validation, but as confirmation of universal principles at work. The perfect timing reveals a greater intelligence orchestrating events far beyond surface appearances, ensuring that your transformation would be both complete and catalytic. Now step forward into this cleared space with deep awareness of the obstacles you've overcome and the extraordinary qualities that have been revealed within you. The universe has validated what was always true. Your perception was sharp, your resilience unmatched, and your spirit truly unbreakable despite all efforts to shatter it. What was intended for your destruction has become the very force that revealed your authentic, untouchable power. Power that lies forever beyond the reach of your adversaries. Confirming the cosmic order is once again restored through your triumph. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return. If you'd like to support our work, please consider contributing through Buy Me a Coffee. This helps us continually improve our content to offer you the best. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No gift is too small. Whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share, your generosity helps spread God's word and brings hope to others. Don't stop here. Watch our next video for powerful revelations about the signs that reveal you are the chosen one. We've enjoyed following this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Keep shining brightly and embrace your destiny with courage. See you next time. Blessings to all the beautiful souls from the Enlighten wisdom.